Hello and welcome to In a Flash, a flash fiction reading series by Sweetie Cat Press. I'm Dave Gregory, and next up is a science fiction story by Eddie D. Moore entitled Lab Rats. This story has been previously published in Theme of Absence, and the co-sponsor of today's reading is Elaine Marie Carnegie Paget. Lab Rats by Eddie D. Moore. Nathan palmed the glass vial in his coat pocket and, as he changed clothes, he slid the vial into the hidden pocket built into the heel of his street shoes while carefully keeping his back to the security camera. He hung up his lab coat and inwardly groaned when Yana, a microbiologist working on Dr. Hansen's team, glanced in his direction. She caught up with him before he could take the 3 steps needed to reach the lobby door. "Are you leaving already, Nathan? The party has just started." Nathan's lips thinned. What exactly are we celebrating? The potential end of human life on this planet? Yana blinked twice and her eyes sharpened. The best way to defend ourselves against such possible weapons is to develop them first. Now our research can change directions. Now we can develop vaccines and cures. I know you've been looking forward to this phase of the project. Many people in the room raised their glasses and shouted, "Huzzah!" Yana belatedly raised her own glass and returned the shout, "Huzzah!" I think they spent too much time at the Renaissance Festival last weekend. Nathan sighed and met Yana's eyes, and for a moment he forgot what he was going to say when he realized how beautiful they were. He swallowed and cleared his throat. "I do look forward to the next phase, but I just cannot, in good conscience, celebrate the existence of such a dreadful weapon." Yana rested a reassuring arm on Nathan's forearm. "This is an international project, and there are labs around the planet celebrating our success this very moment. But I understand your worries. The Z-Day virus would turn millions into mindlessly raging cannibals in weeks. It's our job now to make sure it never happens." Nathan nodded as a nearby telephone rang, and when Yana turned away to answer it, he took the opportunity to slip out the door. Fearing that Yana might follow and try to persuade him to stay longer, he walked quickly away from the research building. He allowed himself a quick glance back as he turned right on Height Street, and another glance as he took a left on Trench. He let out a long, slow sigh of relief when he saw that no one was following. He eyed the tall buildings to his left and right as he walked, and ground his teeth. It just made no sense. Why would you put such a dangerous research facility in the middle of a populated city? Why wasn't this project located deep under a mountain in New Mexico? There could only be 2 answers. Either his superiors were idiots, or someone actually hoped for a security breach or accident. He'd made up his mind long ago to give them their breach, just not in the way they expected. Sweat stung his right eye as he walked under the arch at the city park entrance. A large pool and fountain in the center of the park shot streams of water 12 feet in the air. People crowded around, soaking their feet, and wading through it to escape the heat of the day. As he sat at the edge of the pool, a little girl, no more than 3 years old, with blonde hair, grinned at him. He gave her a wink just before she turned and splashed a nearby playmate. His heartbeat quickened as he pulled off his shoes and put his feet into the cool water. He glanced nervously from bystander to bystander as he retrieved the glass vial from the heel of his shoe. Water was not the best medium for transmitting a virus, but he had helped design this strain, and he knew that it had enough resilience to find a host. It was extremely contagious, and, once released, there would be no way of stopping it. A stream of water splattered against his face, stirring him from his thoughts, and he turned to see the little blonde girl holding a water gun. He smiled as the mother chided the child and pried the water gun from her hand. He popped the top of the vial with his thumb, and, a second later, he poured its contents into the pool. Nathan spent the rest of the afternoon watching children filling water guns and spitting streams of water with their mouths, silently counting how many were exposing themselves. Someone sat down beside him and he flinched. Yana let out a resigned sigh as she dropped her feet into the pool. You did it, didn't you? The skin between Nathan's eyebrows wrinkled and he stammered. I'm afraid I don't know what you're talking about. They locked down the lab right after you left. When I answered the phone, security was frantically screaming in my ear that no one was to be allowed to leave. Nathan sighed. It's too late. The police are looking for you. They'll find me right here. Yana glanced at the people playing in the pool. So this is the end of the world. Ha! Nathan barked a laugh. Not by a long shot. What do you mean? I didn't release the Z-Day virus. He held up the empty vial for Yana to see the identification numbers. This is the strain we created by accident. Instead of destroying the prefrontal cortex and stimulating the amygdala, this version will stimulate the prefrontal cortex and soothe the amygdala. Yana let out a sigh of relief and relaxed. So the human race just received a contagious bump in intellectual capacity and emotional maturity? Nathan put his arm around Yana. You see, it's not the end of the world. It's just the end of the world as we know it. The end. And that was Lab Rats by Eddie D. Moore. This installment of In a Flash was co-sponsored by Elaine Marie Carnegie Paget. I'm Dave Gregory for Sweetie Cat Press.